Wave hi to the online internet world. We should be live and all the places but Instagram. So welcome everyone. If you are scrolling through LinkedIn or Facebook or happen to be on YouTube right now, I would love to welcome you to stop your scroll for just a few minutes so we can take some time and talk about a really the topic today that we're going to talk about with the Circle of Influence partners is community. And specifically, I asked Adhana and Katie to join me live today to talk about community. And we're going to go a little bit below the surface on this topic purposefully because Adhana has been building community. She is the expert at building community and what that definition is. And I only know Katie through community. I have watched Katie build community for the last 20 plus years. So I am going to, they are two of the Circle of Influence partners, which will be also attending the Heart Cell Summit at the end of the month. And we're going to spend the next few minutes talking about community. But before we do, I would love to open the floor for Katie and Adhana to introduce themselves. Who are you? Where are you coming from? And what do you do? Katie, you want to go first?
I sure will. Thank you, Dora. First of all, thanks for having us. And also, I'm super excited for the event because I love coming together, especially the energy that women bring together when they want to help continue to nurture community. So I love that. Katie O'Toole Smith, the name of my company is Katie the Car Lady Leasing and Sales. We are a independent automobile dealership in Northeast Ohio, Lyndhurst, Ohio, if you really want to put a pin in it. We do new, used leasing and buying. We provide services for consumers that allow them to have an amazing, easy, save time and money car buying, car leasing experience. And if you've ever read the book by Will Guidara, which is Unreasonable Hospitality, that's what we try to do. We provide service that is so unreasonable. People love it. They know it should be normal and it doesn't cost more.
It really is unreasonable. It's beyond surprise and delight. The fact that you never, ever, 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 ever have to walk into a car dealership and your car shows up at your house is unreasonable. But
Delivery
true.
1 hour or less. 1 hour or less.
Yes. Thank you, Katie. Oh, and you said where you are from.
Yes.
Cleveland. Adhana, who, what, where, all the goodies.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adhana McCarthy. I'm in the Quad Cities, Illinois, Rock Island specifically, and I'm the founder of Collab and Win. Collab and Win is a community for nervous system regulation for entrepreneurs. What I found is that founders will often have to go through the war zone of their own nervous system before making the sales that they want and building and growing in the way that they want to. And so I help them with their nervous system so they can use that to their advantage. Start with their body first and then build the revenue and growth that they're looking for.
Thank you for doing that, Adhana. I need you in my life, and all of my clients need you in my life all the time. And you know that. Yes, you do. Okay, so let's chat a little bit about community. And I really don't want to talk about like networking because I believe that networking there's so much more to community than just let's go to a networking event. So that's my first question. We have a couple of questions, and I'm also going to open up the chat. So if you stop your scroll and you're like, hey, Donna, hey, Katie, hey, Dora, I want to talk about community too. Come on in and talk community with us. I'd love to have you do that. So my first question, I'm going to look at my little notes here, is what's the difference between networking and true community building for you specifically? I love this question. Who wants to go first?
Me. No, Lucas. Go ahead, Katie.
No, actually, I would love for you to go first because I get energy off of other people's positives. So
Okay.
I'm gonna open the door to you, and then I will be able to. I just want to hear. I like learning from others.
So I'm an Army officer also. I've been in the Army for 20 years. And for me, community building is based on service. And it is about when I go into a room, I'm looking at people and I'm looking at how I can help them, how I can help them have resources that they don't know about, how I can help them solve problems that they're currently facing, how I can help remove a barrier for them, make an introduction. And so for me, community building is truly seeing somebody for who they are in that moment, and then allowing like inserting myself into a place where I am of service to them.
So
I
the
love
word
that.
yes, the word that stands out is service. Unselfish service.
We call it selfless service, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. I just couldn't think of that word, so I was making up words. So thank you for coming up with the word.
Yeah.
And before Katie, before you give your response of the difference, is I have to say I was just on a call with a brand new person to me that didn't get that. That thought networking was just like, let me tell you who I am and what I do and what can you do for me, and that they just didn't get it. And I'm like, gosh, you're missing the boat here. You're missing the boat. And I had to actually educate a little bit. And I don't think she was very happy because it was unsolicited, right? But isn't it true though? So many people think networking is just like, let me vomit my stuff on you. And that's not true community building. Katie.
I I love this so much. As you were talking, like I was like, okay, what are the words that were coming into my mind when you were talking? Because first of all, service, service, service. I love that. But also kindness and unselfishness and long game, not transactional. And so that's really important to me. I love, when you said unselfish, I used to call it unselfish networking, which is really building community. But I think it's when we and I also think that it's Dora, I want to say to the point of the person you were talking to, is that if you're never taught, you don't know. I mean, I'm wired that way, but think about it, Dora. You and I have known each other for a long time. Like we had to learn to be unselfish in living. And I think as entrepreneurs, when you live in a scarcity model, if you do that and you're not in that model of like trust and know that you're good at what you do and stay in that and know that the people will be put in front of you. Like every day I say, okay, universe, what's my assignment to be put into whoever I'm supposed to be of best service to you? How do I do that? Right. And you and I are probably going to get along very well. I can't wait to meet you because with the way you're talking, I love that. But so I would say it's long game versus transactional, and just kindness and unselfishness. It all ties together. But really, how can I serve, right? And it will come, the rest will come. The people will be put in front of you. I think that's
I can't
important.
wait for the two of you to sit next to each other now at dinner. I'll make sure that we do that. Second question. What is one huge opportunity that came out of relationship building? And I preface that word on purpose because the first question was all about community. And inside your community, you are going beyond surface. You're thinking long term, and it's relationship building. Just like you have with your spouse, like this is a real relationship. So what's one huge opportunity that came out of relationship building? If you wanna give 2, you can, but at least 1.
I'll go first since Katie was thinking. Um, two things. I want to talk about the relationships of what mentorship means, and because I remember early in my military career, I would attend a lot of different military PA related conferences, and that would be a way for me to meet so many people who were years, maybe even decades ahead of me in their military career. And building those relationships opened up so many doors and so many opportunities for me to serve on a national level, in leadership. And I feel like it was me raising my hand to somebody who was years ahead of me and needed assistance that really skyrocketed my military career. And when I think about my career as an entrepreneur, it's really now from I find myself in the position of mentor or developer, amplifier. And so I recently had somebody who joined my community about a year ago and had been seeing her show up so consistently in my community, and I loved her work, and I found a place in my city where her work would be phenomenal. And so I just placed her. I was like, you need to come here. We need to get you paid. We need to host a couple of events for you, and we need to amplify that. And so even in the process of amplifying that facilitator, that founder, I was able to amplify my relationships within the community as well. So it was just like uh, relationships that are true and real and long game, as Katie said, can really amplify the work that we do.
I really like that word amplify. I'm writing that down. Katie, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I didn't want you to pick up the back
That's
side. I
fine.
was a thing going. So I also love that word amplify. As opportunities, I thought, oh my gosh, I mean, probably I could tell a million, but I would say that something that came to mind was I found women who were like-minded to walk this business journey with me. Like that to me, I had to be willing to let my guard down as an entrepreneur and not be the only one that can fix everything because we know that doesn't work very well. And also, I had to be willing to know that I was only as good as the women around me. So that to me was I had to get my ego out of the way sometimes. Now there is a time and a place for our ego to work in good ways in business. However, I think that I had to do that. So that was one thing. I found my people, and that what made me think of that was mentorship. I found the women who are out there like-minded, who are growing their businesses, and we could help each other. So that's a great opportunity. The other thing I will say is that in doing that, in building community, it got me into rooms that I never thought I could get into. And so they were rooms that I found, oh, wow, this was like one of my big goals. And here I am sitting at the table with these women. And so I think that building community with no expectation, right? Just continue to build and be part of helping others build, clap for other women too, right? Like, but I'd end up in these rooms like, oh, wait, I never thought I could be in this room with these women. They're the women I want to be with, and then it would just help me to think bigger as I went. And I know, Dora, you talk about that a lot of time, like just like being willing to think outside the box bigger and know that you're meant to do that. You just have to figure out how to get there. Right. Like, so
Yes.
to me, the opportunities were meeting the right people that were put in my path that I was willing to learn with and grow from and with, but then also it ended me up in rooms that I was trying to get in. I didn't realize I'd be sitting in them.
I will tie that up in a bow with the both of you by saying we share the wealth, right? We don't just hoard it and keep it for ourselves. And the more, my grandma used to say, you do good, you get good. The more I do good for others, the more I get. So if I have a relationship with NASDAQ or Tory Burch or whoever, I am not just holding on to that myself. I'm introducing my clients, my community, just like Adhana said, with bringing people in. And that's that ability to see long term that it's about the village. It's not just about us.
And I want to say one thing. I think it's our responsibility, all of us, that once somebody brings us into that room, to bring someone else with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a real responsibility.
Yeah. Wow. This is very lovely. Number 3. What is one relationship building ritual you do weekly and why?
So I think it's easy for me to answer this question because I actually am managing several online communities. So my weekly ritual is really just to let people know what's going on and to reach out to a couple of people one on one and check in. And that's simple. It's just, oftentimes people will share things that are meaningful to them or share insights. And for me to be able to reflect that insight back to them, let them know that somebody understands and sees them and is willing to share something, a resource that could help them. That's something that I just find myself doing all the time. And it's definitely a weekly ritual that I find myself in because it just helps to let everything flourish.
I love that. I think it ties in kind of with I don't manage online communities, which maybe someday that will be something in my wheelhouse. However, the first thing came to my mind when Dora brought this up was to check in on my people. You know, people don't always tell us if whether they're if they're if I see somebody and they've had a great success, I make sure to reach out to them and say, I praise you. Good job. I'm cheering for you. But also when you hear somebody be vulnerable and they're struggling through something, to make sure I check in on them. And that is a weekly thing I do to check. Like I know one of my dear friends, you know, she is going through it, and it's just because the economy is what it is. And but she's still showing up, and and I said, I'm just thinking about you. I'm here for you. If you need anything, you need to, you know, vent or do whatever we do when we need to just go bleh. And, but I want you to know I'm cheering for you. So I think my ritual is to check in on others and make sure it ties in everything that we said. But, and then make sure also that I'm taking care of myself mentally. So that's another thing I have to do, because if I want to be here for you, I have to keep myself. Dora knows this. I will drain myself I mean, I'll be on E minus, you know? And so I think that's too, like, my new thing is, I shut the door, I take a bath, it calms my nervous system, and I don't talk to anybody. I don't take my phone in, I don't do anything. And it just like, shh.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. And you laugh, but that helps me be better here for you. Like,
Correct.
that is 100% fact.
Yeah.
So I would say those are my things. Check in on others, but also take care of myself.
And that's why, I mean, Adhana would be an advocate for this. Both of you are an advocate. That's why we're starting out the summit with the morning grounding session before we consume, before we produce, before we build relationship, before we learn. We're going to hang out with Annie. Annie Sanchez is coming. She's a good friend of mine from New Mexico, and she's going to kick us off with that. So thank you. I could talk about relationship building rituals all day long, but I'm glad that you guys shared yours. And the very
Adhana,
last,
we need to connect, like, legit. One of my biggest struggles in business, and I'm saying this live because I think all of us do, is that I do struggle with emotional regulation when things get crazy, and I would love to connect to someone who could help me navigate.
Absolutely. Well, we've got
first
email. We're all email with each
come
other.
into Collab and Win. Yeah, we'll send you an
Okay.
invite right after here.
Right on.
Sweet.
Okay. The last question, I'm just making sure we're still live. We are. We're good. Is tell me what you think about sales. Do you like sales? And I'm just gonna, like, that's the question, and let's see what happens.
All right, I'll take this one first, because I'll tell you what, sales, I feel like sales has been my life. The thing, though, it's evolved in what it is. It is no longer, again, transactional. Like, and I'll tell you, I will say this out loud, regardless of what people think. The book that changed my life was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I know it's older than dirt, but I think every entrepreneur should read it. And then also Jen Sincero. But either way,
he was my mentor's mentor, and I think he's dead now. But yes,
he is dead. However, it changed how I thought. And so just soon, like, for me, I realized that sales, and I want to say I love sales, but it's not what people would identify as sales. For me, it's more, again, goes in the relationship. It's never about the car, ever, ever, ever. It's never about the car. It's always about the person. So I love it because I get to interact with you, but I let you sell yourself, because all I'm here to do is guide you with the information. Your job is to pick what you want or help navigate once you have all the information. So to me, the sales, I don't like cheesy sales. I don't like, there's things out there. I'm not going to throw out any names. We all could probably identify them as those big things. Come and be, I'm on stage. I'm gonna tell you how to sell. I'm like, no. You know, for me.
But
So,
isn't it amazing that you own a car dealership, you're a car broker, and you're like that, the stigma of sales next to, right? And you're the last thing that people would think of when it comes to that stigma, which is fascinating.
and that's what I love. That's what I love. I get to change people's whole mindset on what that looks. And actually, I was doing a video the other day, and I said, if you want to be sold a car, I'm not your girl. But if you want to come and you want to have a great experience, get a good deal, then here I am. I just think sales, like, I think when we get stuck on that again, it goes to transactional, it goes to pressure, and that's just, I like heart, the heart cell, right? Like, it's like, what comes from the heart goes to the heart. If I do my job, you're going to choose it. I don't have to, if I do the right thing, the business will come. That's just how I believe. So
Thank you, Katie. Yes. Adhana, what do you think about sales?
Oh, Dora, you've changed the way that I thought about sales. And
Aw.
I just want to say that out loud to your audience and mine. Um, Sales is service, it's an extension of service. And if I think about that, if I just before I got on this call, I sent 2 notes to people who I was thinking about because I knew something that they would really appreciate. And I had been thinking about something that I knew that they were going through. And I knew that something that I had could alleviate that. And so I just wanted to share, like, hey, I was thinking about you. This made me think about you. And if you want this type of thing, this space of wise women to be in connection with every other week, like, let me know. It starts tonight. Like, I was just sharing from the heart because we had already had multiple conversations. We had already, like, they already know what my offer is. They already know all the stuff. Just like they know Katie's the car lady. Like, they already know what we have. So it's just a matter of, like, is this the right time for you? And if so, and if not, then what are your thoughts? Because maybe you're stuck, or maybe it really isn't the right time for you. And, like, either way, we're just here for it. We're just gonna keep moving. Yeah.
It gets so simple. What has changed? What has changed?
Um, for me, the embodiment of I am here to alleviate suffering by what I offer. So you always talk about, you're the expert in the room, and of course it's a no-brainer to work with you, and you have all these principles that you coach your folks to embody. But for me, it's like I can help alleviate suffering, and there can be an energy exchange associated with that where we both can thrive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have to tell you, I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that. I'm
Which
stealing it.
thing?
I am here
Which
to
part? All of
alleviate
it's so
suffering.
good.
I'm
Oh.
here to alleviate suffering by what I offer. I love that so much that I'm like, I wrote it down. And I'm going to share something with you guys I heard from this amazing woman. You made me think of this when you started talking, is customer service is a revenue stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Like, so when you that customer service you continue to offer, but I'm telling you, girl, I am here to alleviate. Like, I will give you all the credit for it, but I'm stealing it.
Well, it's the alleviate suffering is much stronger than a disservice to not sharing, right? Because that's what happens is we don't share it, and then it's a disservice. But eliminating, alleviating suffering for not sharing it is even more powerful.
And I had some folks in my group last night or yesterday morning, and one of my folks is a nurse who teaches compassion and empathy in hospital systems, and she's like, "What I'm teaching could save a life." And if you think about, like, some of the things that we are doing out there can save a life. And so our work is there for the world. Yesterday was Earth Day. I sent out some Captain Planet memes. The planet needs you. The world needs us and our genius and our brilliance to be out there. So, like, what are we waiting for?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I absolutely loved this stream, this live. Before we finish up, thank you to our 2 Circle of Influence partners who are attending and are endorsed at the Heart Cell Summit, which is May 29th and 30th in Cleveland, Ohio, coming up. I will have about 15 more of these lives because so many of you are participating as Circle of Influence partners. But before we go, how can how can people find you, Katie, and how can people find you, Adhana?
So if you Google Katie the Car Lady, you will find me. I am all over there, but on Insta. And if you just want some content that's helpful for if you're maybe I'm not a fit for you, maybe I am, I'm not sure. But if you just want some content and information to know, I have a lot of content out there that's just helpful for consumers. So Instagram, Facebook, Katie O'Toole Smith or Katie the Car Lady. You'll find me both ways. LinkedIn, Katie O'Toole Smith. But I just yeah. So and I love to connect with new people, and if there's a way I can help you, I will always try.
Thank you, Katie. And Adhana, Collab and Win?
Yes, so Collab and Win is a community on School, SKOOL. So if you look for Collab and Wins, like collaborate and win, you can find us there. I also am on YouTube with Santosha Rising. So if you look up Santosha Rising, you'll find my videos, my meditation videos. You hear my lovely voice. You'll find me on Substack as Adhana Mac as well.
Lovely. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. And thank you, everyone who was scrolling by and stopped to hang out with us. Have a blessed day.
Cannot wait to see you guys.